Hi, everyone. It's Coach Mo here with another Soul Powered Revolution podcast. You know what? Our clients are nailing their boss meetings and interactions. And if they're not every single time, they have tools, strategies, and the biggest thing is that soul powered connection. This is the secret recipe to your life, to your success, to your lifestyle, to your relationships, to your health, to your relationships with your kids, your parents, your loved ones, whomever else. This is your best way, best avenue for everything. And I talk about soul power. I've been talking about soul power for 12 years now. Have you heard me say it? If you're a regular follower or listener, thank you for listening. Thank you for participating in the soul powered revolution. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, or if you're not sure what this soul powered thing is, let me explain briefly. And then we're going to dive into how you can really, really nail your boss interactions because it's simpler than you think. You, as a human being, have an element of yourself which is unseen, energetic. It's that beingness that is taking up residence in your body. It's the part of you also that you can zoom out and watch yourself. Like you can literally create a point of view where you're watching yourself living your life. That's called observer status. And when you can reach into observer status in a moment, you're able to be very centered, very calm, and successful. Because success, hopefully you've been able to hear me. My microphone was way over there. Hopefully you've been able to hear me. Anyway, success is all about being present. And why do we sometimes not go for being present? Because we have insecurities, self doubts. We're afraid of rejection. We're afraid of being stupid or failing. We fear being judged. And this is more activated in you when you actually are that way inside. When you are judging yourself, when you are criticizing yourself, when you are seeing yourself as a failure or incompetent or any of that. And you know what? That voice is probably playing 24/7, and it's been taking up residence, not only in your mind, but in your soul, in that beautiful part of you. You've got this toxicity sitting in there because over the years, over the decades, you've been hearing things about you that have glommed onto a sense of self. And the whole idea of being soul powered is to bring your light, that soul version of you, that light, that loving self, to bring her more in to your life, more into your events and your thought process and your strategies and the notes that you're taking before meetings. Like when you bring your light self, your soul powered self into your life, you will be more successful in every interaction. And maybe you don't resonate with the word successful, but successful means fulfilled and satisfied. So if you're in your soulful self, you're going to be more present because you're not busy chattering back there about your insecurities, your self-doubts, your failings, your fear of rejection, your inadequacies. Recently, in coaching one of my groups, our soul-powered women, who are I meet with them monthly. We do deep soul work, and then we do a virtual retreat in October. And I am committed to the deepest soul work with that group of women because they are ready for it. And we went into a deep meditation this past week, and I brought them into a place of truth about when they invoke their yeah buts. You know, I could have a good relationship with my boss. Yeah, but they're not great. They don't take the time. Yeah, but they cancel meetings on me all the time. We're living in the version of yeah buts to cover ourselves up. And so I created this like dragon creature. Actually, my Moby did. I have an AI agent coach that I've created out of all of my material, and it's really quite wonderful. And she can create pictures and images. So she created a yeah but dragon. And this dragon carries our limiting beliefs, our negative narratives. This yeah but dragon carries our I'm not good enoughs. I can't, I won't, I don't know how. And if that is, if that dragon is like living in you, you're suffering. Every interaction, you're overthinking it, you're guessing, you're hoping, you're not comfortable. And oftentimes you're going to avoid the conversations that you must have. So let's talk about this. As a professional woman, your life is about connecting with people, whether that be your family, friends, neighbors, colleagues, boss. Your whole life is about connecting with other humans. And if you're a leader, this is your job. Your job is to connect with others. And if you don't have a positive, beautiful connection with yourself, it taints every connection that you have. Because when you're feeling insecure with someone, you're going to be asking for validation. You're going to be needy. You're going to be looking for more direction or being okay or being uh, approved of. Oh, I remember one of my very first clients, like 10, 11 years ago. She was going through my program and she got to a point where she started feeling really good and centered with herself. And she said, my husband just commented to me that I'm no longer not a needy wife. When you fill your cup, when you decide that the relationship with you is more important than anything else out there, and when you see that when you have a great relationship with yourself, you can now have better relationships with others because you're not needy. You're not grabbing into recognition and approval all the time. One of the things that a lot of our clients before they started working with us said that their bosses would get upset at them because they were looking for direction from their boss. Your boss wants you to not ask for direction unless they're sort of toxic themselves. But most reasonably healthy, mentally healthy, physically, spiritually healthy people are expecting and wanting you to be empowered. So if you have a certain title, that requires you to make decisions and be able to figure stuff out and not have to rely on your boss all the time, not have to bring them the things that they're like, well, isn't that your job? Why are you asking me? When you want to have a great relationship with your boss, when you want to have great meetings with your boss, you have to, have to do your job. And your number one job is to make your boss's world easier. If you put stuff on your boss to make decisions for you, they're like, why do I need her in this role? I'm making all the decisions. Your number one job in your career is to manage your boss. And the number one rule of managing your boss is to make their job easier. In other words, you don't make them have to think and work hard to help you do your job. They're there to remove obstacles and to sort of keep you in the guardrails of what's expected, not to be relied on. Hey, boss, this and this just happened. What should I do? No, no, no. Don't do that. Figure it out. You have to make your moves independently and then communicate to your boss as they wish to be communicated to. Now, this is the tricky part. Most of us communicate to others the way that we want to communicate. I used to have someone who reported me. She used to send me big, long emails. And I'd be like, I don't want to read that big, long email. You're making me work. And you're trying to give me an update. It's too painful. So you have to understand and appreciate that how you nail your boss meetings is how you first start off with how you nail your relationship with yourself. And is nail the wrong word? I don't know, but you get my point. You have to be so understanding, loving, confident, accepting, congruent with yourself for you to have that better relationship with your boss. Otherwise, the threat response is going to be triggered and you're not going to be present. You're going to be needy. You're going to be looking for approval. You're going to be asking your boss for decision making that you should be making. And if you do that, your boss isn't going to respect you. Your boss is going to think, what the hell is she bringing this to me for? So, in so many ways, your relationship with your boss telegraphs to you how you're thinking and feeling about yourself. Let that one sink in, and I'll say it again. Your relationship with your boss telegraphs what's going on in you. And typically, it's also colored with the relationship that you have with authority. I know, I'm going all Freudian here on you. It's super easy to break this down. If you fear authority, there you are, you're in stress. If you disrespect authority, there you are having a physics problem because your boss is your boss no matter what. And if you don't like that person, it's your job to find a way to navigate that and to get stuff done. Maybe that's a crucial conversation to set the record straight, get on the same page. Maybe you've sort of decided that your boss is a certain way and it's just the way it is and you're staying clear. That will not work. So many times I've coached our clients, and when they've had negative relationships with their boss, typically it has been them entrenched in a perception of who their boss is. I remember saying to one of my clients, it sounds like your boss might be going through something very personal and very troubling. I don't know, he's just a jerk and ignores me, doesn't have any time for me, blah, 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 blah. I said, why don't you ask him? What? Yeah, why don't you ask him? Hey, just wanted to know, it seems like you're sort of, upset. Is something going on that you need some more space for? Remember, your boss is a human being. I know. It's tough to remember that sometimes. Your boss is human. Your boss has their own psychological issues, their own stresses, their own this, their own pressures from their boss. The things that your boss has coming toward him or her is perhaps nothing that you could even contemplate. And so when you come, you're thinking like you're the most important person to your boss, or you think like, oh, I shouldn't come to my boss. Your boss needs you and you need them. And your ability to be present, to be engaged, to communicate without your own insecurities getting in the way, and to get what you need from your boss in a way that makes them not have to work hard to get you what you need. That's what I said. It's your job to help your boss have an easier way to relate and get along with you. It's not your boss's job to do the hard work to get along with you. It's not. That's a physics problem. In the hierarchical world of work, which 99.99% of workplaces are, because that's a pretty decent way to organize things until we're at a different place in humanity. We're not. So information and power goes from the top down. If you're trying to do a power play from the bottom up and you're asking your boss for things that you need and whatever, and you're doing it in a way of being insecure or over needy or non-decisive, and so you're putting more burdens on your boss, you got a problem. So you have to really recontextualize your relationship with yourself, what your boss needs from you, and how they would like that to go. So you have to ask and get that squared away, which includes the frequency and the type of information that they need from you in order to do their job. If they don't need a full report on everything that you're doing, don't give it to them. Don't waste their time on doing that. Give them the nuggets. I know when I was a leader, the higher up I went, the tinier nugget I needed. Because when people report in, you expect them to be doing their job. So I don't need chapter and verse. I want the highlight. I want the headline. And I also want the things that might become surprises down the road. The projects that are getting off track, a colleague that may not be cooperative. And I also want to know, as your boss, what have you done about it before you brought this to me? Where have you intervened to make it better before you're asking me to make it better for you? Please get this. And likely, When you correct your relationship with yourself and you get clear on who you are and you stop throwing toxicity and garbage at yourself, you're going to have an easier time being present with your boss and getting what you need from them and not overburdening them with stuff so that they start canceling your meetings or not wanting to be around you because you're always asking for something from them. Your job is to take rocks out of their backpack and to do it in a way that works for them. Now, I could go into so many deep levels and channels here, but I'm going to leave you with this because there are communication strategies. There are culture strategies. There are levels of communication and information and strategies and KPIs and things like that affect all that I'm telling you. But boil it down to this. You need to have a better relationship with yourself. You need to plug your insecurities up in an authentic way, not fake, fake, fake. You need to then be present and see what that person needs from you and conduct yourself accordingly. If you have questions, please feel free to comment below wherever this podcast episode may be. If you're a client, you know how to get in touch with us. We have programs that are deep dives in all the stuff that I spoke about. Please take notes of what I just mentioned on this podcast episode and do one thing this week that's going to shift and move forward. And if that's getting your relationship with yourself better, do that. Start to plug up your insecurities, your self-doubts, your anxieties, your fears of being judged, all of that. It's coming from within. Start plugging that up. Get yourself taken care of. And then remember, your boss wants you to relate to them in the way that works for them, not for you. I mean, if it works for you also, great. But your priority is, how is this going to work for my boss? What's going to be better for them? Those are two big takeaways from the Soul Powered Revolution podcast. Please be soul powered. Please be a revolutionary to be soul powered. Please take your soul seriously and please enjoy the ride of being soul powered. We'll see you on the next episode. This is Mo. See you next time.